I would argue that outside the South Bloc, or maybe in spite of the South Bloc, India has changed dramatically as well. I mean, and this is no value judgment here. We have changed as a lot, as a people, as a society, as a community. What is that single biggest change you have seen as someone who has been taking India to the world, about India?
Well, look, I mean, in a sense, you are right. Again, my contention has been, in many ways, the changes have been in the making. It's a question of whether we pick it up quickly. And I've actually said in the book that if you look back on it, the Indian street has been much more sensitive or much smarter about that change than Lutyens' Delhi. That if you see, you know, where do you trade, where do you travel, where do you educate your children, so what are the key relationships for you? I think the Indian street has actually been very smart, and even in its skepticism about countries, you know, the Indian street, for example, intuitively recognized the enormity of the cross-border terrorism which is coming out of Pakistan, you know. So I would actually, as I say, argue it's a kind of an elite street dichotomy there. But when it comes to South Bloc, because you used that term, I would say, look, South Bloc has actually been fairly good at sort of going with that change, you know, after the breakup of the Soviet Union, trying to readjust our relationship with the West. You know, very much in the lead on the nuclear deal, which was an inflection point. So I would say I wouldn't put South Bloc there with Lutyens' Delhi. I would say South Bloc did, frankly, very much better, and I was part of it, so it's a very self-interested statement. When you ask me what has changed in the country, I think what has changed in many ways is a certain mindset, a certain practicality which has come. So today, when we look at foreign policy, we link it much more to the security of the country. We link it to economy. We are much more conscious about delivery, practical delivery, whether it is on passports or whether it's in projects outside. Much more in tune with, you know, the aspiration to project our personality. You know, to the yoga, International Day of Yoga would be a good example. And more than that, I would say, if you take a strategic posture, a sense that, look, there is, what has changed today is a understanding that strategic autonomy should not be confused with strategic ambiguity. That we need to be decisive, there will be challenges. It's not enough to debate choices. Sometimes we need to make choices. I think that sense is there much more now than it was before.